Well, where's your host?
He's not here. Nobody's here. What is happening?
Cigarette? It'll calm your nerves.
I don't smoke.
For Wadsworth. Open after dinner. It's for you.
Right then, are you comfortable?
I make a good living.
Oh, out with it, Wadsworth!
Ladies and gentlemen, these instructions are clear.
Glad something is.
It seems the 6 of you have all received the same letter. It will be to your advantage to be present on this date because Mr. Botti will bring to an end a certain non-standing, confidential, and painful financial liability.
Yes.
What is it, huh?
As it turns out, you have all one thing in common.
That term, McCarthy. We're all being blacklisted, aren't we?
Close, Colonel. You're all being blackmailed. For some considerable time, all of you have been paying more than you can afford to someone who threatens to expose you.
Oh, please. What's someone gonna blackmail me for? I go to church every Sunday.
Yeah, lady, don't we all?
Anybody else wish to deny it? Until you receive your letters, you have known who has been blackmailing you. But now I'm sure that even the least discerning amongst you have determined the man behind your ransom is Mr. Botti himself.
It's like who's in the body fellow, you brutish butler?
Who Mr. Botti is no concern of yours. Suffice it is to say, he's a supporter of the House of Un-American Activities Committee, and he feels your activities have been decidedly un-American.
American?
My task this evening is to expose your secrets to each other, rendering you all culpable in each other's indiscretions.
But we hardly know each other.
Precisely.
Don't you think you might spare us this humiliation?
I'm afraid I have no choice. We'll start with you, Professor Plum.
This ought to be good.
It says here you were once a professor of psychiatry, specializing in pathological, lying lunatics suffering from delusions of grandeur.
Yes, but now I work for the U.S. government.
So your work has not changed. But you can't practice medicine anymore, can you? Your license has been lifted, correct?
Why? What do you do?
You know how male doctors aren't supposed to date their lady patients?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you do.
How awful! You know, someday there will be a reckoning for men like you.
I hope so.
Me too. You're disgusting.
Are you making more judgments, Mrs. Peacock?
Well,
How then do you justify taking bribes in return for delivering Senator Peacock's votes to certain lobbyists?
My husband is a paid consultant. There's nothing sinful about that.
Not if it's publicly declared. But if you slip cash from the stall door of Duette's Grill, how would you describe that transaction?
I'd say it stinks.
Wasn't you in that men's room?
So it's true!
No, it's a vicious lie.
But you've been paying blackmail for over a year now to keep that out of the papers. Seems a little sticky, no?
Now see here.
Well, I'm willing to believe you. I too am being blackmailed for something I didn't do.
So am I.
Not me.
You're not being blackmailed.
Oh, I'm being blackmailed, all right. But I did what I'm being blackmailed for.
What to do? I run a non-governmental agency that handles classified affairs. Affairs in Washington?
Is that how you know Colonel Mustard works in Washington? With one of your clients?
Certainly not.
I was asking to start.
Well, you tell him it's not true.
It's not true.
Is that true? No, it's not true.
So it's true.
I'm double negative.
Double negative? You mean you have photographs?
That sounds like a confession of me. In fact, double negative has always led to proof positive. I'm afraid you gave yourself away.
Are you trying to make me look stupid in front of the other guests?
You don't need any help from me, sir. Colonel, looks like you hold a sensitive security post from the Pentagon. Those negatives would certainly compromise your position.
And what position were exactly caught in, Colonel?
This is an outrage.
Let's see who next. Mrs. White, you've been paying our friend the blackmailer ever since your husband died under, shall we say, mysterious circumstances.
Say what you want. I didn't kill him.
Then why were you paying the blackmailer?
I don't want another scandal, do I?
Another?
We had a very humiliating confrontation. He had threatened to kill me in public. Why would he want to kill you in public?
I think she meant he had threatened, in public, to kill her.
It was all over the papers.
And yet he was the one who died. Not you, Mrs. White, not you.
He was found dead at home, unclothed. His head had been cut off, so that is, you know. But I didn't do it. I'd been out all evening at the movies.
What was showing?
The Naked Alibi.
A likely story.
And yet here's your second husband. Your first also disappeared,
That was his job. He was an illusionist.
but he never reappeared.
He wasn't a very good illusionist.
And lastly, Mr. Green, who is a...
I don't need you to unmask me, Wadsworth. I know what you're gonna say about me.
What's that?
Mr. Green, who is a homosexual.
Not me.
I beg your pardon?
You asked who's a homosexual, and I said, not me.
Yes, thank you, Colonel. But there's more to it than that, Mr. Green.
What do you mean?
There's evidence to support the question of your politics.
My politics, since what is working for the Republican Party of John?
You swore an oath of allegiance to the Republican Party, but neglected to vote for Eisenhower during the last election. That's grounds for an outing if there ever was one.
But voting records are confidential.
Everything has its price, Mr. Green.
So, there you have it.
Have what?
A crooked senator's wife, a lascivious doctor, a disloyal Republican, and so forth. Not exactly adhering to an all-American standard of behavior, are you?
Depends on who you ask.
So if this body feels such a noble American himself, then why just report to the authorities?
And give up the opportunity to make a buck? Come now, Professor, what could be more American than that?
Apple pie.
All right, Wadsworth. So we're all being blackmailed by a renegade McCarthyist. Where does that leave us?
Where is this Mr. Bonnie?
And what does he want from us?
Who cares? I'm not waiting to find out. I've done nothing wrong. I'm leaving.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Peacock, you can stand in aisle, but you cannot leave this house.
I'm the wife of a great senator. You can't tell me what to do. Locked?
Indeed, all the doors are locked, the windows are barred, and the grounds are patrolled by vicious dogs. There's no way out. Ladies and gentlemen, might I introduce your host for the evening and your blackmailer for life, Mr. Botte. How do you do?
Why are you blackmailing us?
You're such a typical man. Better off dead!
Why are you studying with me?
Thank you. I've studied martial arts.
There is one more piece of information I may like to have.
What?
The police are coming in less than an hour.
Unless
Unless what?
you agree to double down.
And why would we agree to do that?
Because if you do not, I will put this briefcase containing all the evidence needed to expose you of your crimes in the hands of the police, the press, and the House Un-American Committee. With the right spin, those fellows can make a commie out of anyone. I feel some of you would face a lifetime of jail, and others a lifetime of shame. Unless,
Unless what?
well, there is something you could do for me that would change the game. Something I just can't bear to do myself.
What?
Let's have a seat in the lab.